Hello there. Welcome back to another episode of Unspoken Reality podcast. And in this episode, we are going to focus on what next after the transition. What comes next? And I've thought to record this podcast before the year ends, the year 2024. It has been a long year, and it also at the same time has been a short year in the sense that 2024 has really elapsed quite quickly, but the events that have occurred within this year has been a lot. And I'm hoping that in the future episodes, we'll be talking about some of the current events and how they shape our reality and how they affect our livelihood. But for this season, we are still in season one. And so for this season, we are still focusing on some of the nuggets and the foundational wisdom that are going to assist you to navigate this life. And so, in this episode titled What Next, we are going to focus on specifically one transition. Remember, in the last episode, it was transitions in general. And we talked about the fact that it's okay for you to not know exactly what you want to be doing 5 years, 10 years down the road, even immediately after you graduate from campus. And another key aspect that you talked about is the fact that happiness is found in progress. That pursuit, the pursuit of life, the pursuit of goals, your ambitions, things that you're striving for, happiness is found in this pursuit, not necessarily in the destination or where you want to be. And also, another aspect that you talked about was that ability to adjust and to adapt in the transitions that you're currently in. And lastly, another key aspect of transitions was being able to manage the transition. And how you do it is identifying the circle of control. What is within your control and what is without. So you should be able to not let things that you cannot change their outcomes affect you or rather stress you. And so in this episode, we'll just be focusing specifically on this kind of transition from campus or university or college or schooling system for that matter into the job market. There is that kind of transition where life gives you a reality check that you are now an adult. You are not going to be spoon fed anymore. No one is going to send you upkeep. No one is going to be following you up here and there, though university has a little bit of freedom where no one follows you. And so that trend continues. And there is that need when you go out of campus for your life to matter, for your life to count. You want to be significant in a way and you want to be known for something. And so there is that inner kind of turmoil when you see that things are not moving and perhaps you don't really get to understand clearly where it is you're supposed to be going and what are the necessary steps that you're supposed to make. And so in this episode, I hope to give you a little bit of clarity in what are the things that you're supposed to be doing, hence the what next. And so when it comes to transitions from university, from college, you need to understand that different individuals, the friends that you had, your classmates, I normally term it as friends by proximity, the fact that you are close in the same environment, in the same class, sharing the lectures, sharing the hostel, that's what made you friends. There are only 2, 3, or 4 at most that you become more than friends. You extend that friendship beyond university. But for the rest, you will just remain to be acquaintances. As much as you spend 5 years or 4 years, or regardless of the years of your course, regardless of that, it doesn't matter. There are only 3 to 5 people that you at least you can go out with into the real world and say that these are my friends that I came out with out of university. The rest, they will remain to be acquaintances, and some you will even lose communication. You will lose touch unless maybe you have a vibrant WhatsApp group that you can still keep touch, but you will still lose that communication because of the proximity. And so these different individuals that you call your classmates or that you call your friends after graduation, each one of them is going to have a transition on their own. And all this depends on the background, where they're coming from, the kind of connections that they have, and the kind of resources that they have. So it won't be the same for everyone. Every transition of each individual in the class when it comes to moving into the job market is going to be unique, and it's going to be different. And you're going to get pressure, perhaps from those that are active in LinkedIn. You see people saying, hey, today I'm thrilled to announce that I met so and so. Others, they attended different conferences. And then there are those that have gotten a job. This one should not actually scare you, right? Because each of our transitions are different, they are unique. And so that day, after I think the last paper, even before graduation, because there is going to be some few months in between. Mine, I finished my last paper mid-June, and I graduated in September. How many months are those in between? June, July, August, September. So at least you have 3 concrete months before you graduate. And so this is how this transition is going to look like. If I can just give you an example of some of what you ought to expect. There are those that are going to go home directly. That was my case because I had spent 5 years in university, and I thought, Bana, I need rest. I need to rest my back. So I went home. And it wasn't something that I was convinced by someone else that, no, you should go home, or, no, it was just an internal conviction that I've labored for 5 years. I think I need to get some rest, this 3 months rest before graduation. Yeah, just to also spend time with my family, because I am cognizant of the fact that when life starts to happen and you get a career and you start to grow professionally, you are going to see your siblings and your parents rarely throughout the year. There are some that their job is so demanding that the only break that they get is these holidays, perhaps Easter and the December holidays. And most of them, you'll find that it's not enough time to squeeze yourself to at least come and visit your parents, because of how transportation is here in Kenya, the congestion, people trying to get to their homes during the holidays, especially Easter and Christmas. And so some people, due to the nature of their work, you're not going to see your parents as often as you ought to, or as you want to. Yeah, and so for my case, I thought, let me just go home and rest for a while for 3 months before graduation and see how things are going to be. And so you should not model this approach to your case that because this one went home, I should also go home. There are those that say, no, I'm not going home. If I go home, I'm going to be lazy. I'm just going to be, what is it? That kind of being spoon fed, and then you will stagnate. That was some of the arguments that my friends were sharing, and also some tried to convince me from not going home. But it's different. You all know yourself. You all know the background that you're coming from. Some will try to deter you, no, don't go home, stay here and try to figure out life. But others, if you are privileged to have your parents and your siblings still alive and you have a good support system, go home, re-energize. That was the view and the model that I used when I went home for those 3 months. So there are those that are going to stick around, if it's in Nairobi, if it's wherever you're listening from and wherever you're schooling from. There are those that are going to go directly into hustle. Some had already established their hustle while still in university. So there are some that are going to hustle direct, or to continue with what it is that they were doing, and they say, no, I'm not going home, I have to figure out my life, and it works for them. There are also those that started applying for internship before, let's say, a month before your last papers. People are making moves chini ya maji. If you don't know, there are those friends of yours, you are 1 month or even 2 months before your last paper, before you present your projects, people are writing applications for internships. It's a good thing. It's a good thing, actually. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing that they didn't say to their friends. No, no one should communicate to you, or rather persuade you on what you ought to do. There are things that we are just supposed to be aware of, and we do them out of our own volition. So yeah, there are those that are going to apply for internships 2 months before you graduate. Oh, sorry, before you finish your exams. And immediately after finishing, remember we haven't graduated, there are those that are going to get internships. Some even might get entry level positions before graduation. It's all dependent on the kind of value that you're going to provide and the kind of skill sets that you have, and also the connections. It's very important. I'm not disputing that. So there are those that are going to get a job immediately. And I'm also aware that there are those that are going to tarmac. You might start looking, I know of some that started looking for internships immediately after, but chance and I think the universe, and to be precise, God has a way of working out our purposes. So there are some that will start looking for internships immediately, but for those 3 months from July to September, for my case, that is before graduation, there are those that won't get any, but immediately after graduation, they start getting these opportunities. And there are those also that will apply, graduation has come, still nothing. And there are those that won't apply, then after graduation, they apply and they get something. Those are the different kind of transitions that you ought to expect when it comes to transitioning from campus to the real world. I'd say I'd use that word for the lack of a better word. So that was just painting a picture of some of the transition that you ought to expect. So this begs the question, what next? I've just finished my exams. I'm awaiting graduation 3 months. Maybe the results have not yet come. Or I've graduated, still I don't have internships. There is nothing that I'm doing. I've spent my time at home. What next? And so before I even give you the perhaps what I think should be some of the things that you need to do, first understand that we are all different and the destinations that we are headed to are different. Our life's journey are not the same. And so don't compare yourself to someone else. No. Our backgrounds are not the same. People start life from with a different head start. There are some that are privileged, there are some that aren't. So don't compare yourself to different circumstances that are not your own. If it's to compare, then at least compare with where you were 10 years before, 5 years before, and understand that at least the dream, or rather the reality that you are living in right now, is something that you had wanted before. From high school, you had always wanted to attend university and graduate, and this is happening. It's a reality. So pause and be grateful for this reality that it's a part of your life and it's a part of something that you had wanted, and you are on your way to realizing your life's goal, your life's potential, and also you're on your way at least to fulfilling some of the few goals and the dreams that you had. And so now to answer that question, what next? Simply put, if you can get this and understand it from your own perspective, then that's the purpose of this episode. What next? Improve. That's the answer that I'm giving you. Improve. And so just now to break it down further, in what areas of life do you need to improve? Understand that people that are employed, people in the job market, and people that are earning high income, six figures and whatnot, they are in that position because of the value that they are providing to their corporations and to the companies that they are working for. Value is very important. And how do you polish value, or rather, how do you accrue value? You do so by improving. And this definition that I read just from a dictionary, to improve is to make something better, to increase the value or productivity of something, to enhance. So you've just graduated, you have this degree, regardless of the grades that you got, there is a certain value that you have that someone that who did not go to school, or rather did not have the privilege to attend university, does not have. And so what you need to do is to improve upon this value. And not only this value per se, not only this specific degree that you have, but improving your life in general. And there are several aspects that you need to look at when it comes to improvement. These are some of the models that I use in my life to gauge the improvement. And even before then, you need to understand that it's important to live a life in pursuit of purpose. Do not pursue jobs and careers because of the financial aspect, because of the monetary value that you're going to get out of it. While that is important, that is not the only thing, or rather, that's not the essence of life in its entirety. I believe that we need to fulfill the purpose under which we were brought forth in this earth. And so there are five aspects that I believe a person needs to improve in general. Perhaps I'll go deeper in another episode. I'll term it the marks of a high value person. When you improve in these aspects, I believe everything that you are pursuing in life, from security, financial freedom, and all that, revolves around these five aspects. And yeah, maybe I might be wrong, but this is what I believe to be true at this point in time. And one of them, I've categorized them in order from which I think is most important to the one that is least, but all of them are important in the aspect of your life. The first one is spiritual. You need to improve spiritually, have that spiritual growth, because from life in itself is spiritual, and from spirituality is where we are grounded. When it comes to morality, when it comes to ethics, they're all grounded in spirituality. You have to be principled, and something that gives you those principles is spiritualism. What do you believe in? So, whatever your religion is, try to pursue truth. Spirituality is backed by truth. Question everything. Be curious, whatever it is that you're following. Are you grounded in it? Do you believe it to be true? Or you're just there for the sake, for the ride, because perhaps your parents are there? No. Find truth on your own. Pursue truth on your own. And I strongly believe that if you do that with a sincere heart and you're genuine about it, you will get the truth, that you will get the absolute truth. If you're genuine about it and if you're relentless in the pursuit. That's the first one. The second one is mental. Mental, I've categorized it into emotional and intellectual. The degree that you're currently having can be categorized into that intellectual growth. And so you need to improve upon it. You need to polish it. When it comes to emotional, it's a part of the intellect still, because we have people that are emotionally intelligent. We call it the emotional quotient. How easily are you pissed off, right? Are your emotions up on your sleeves? Do you get unakereka kwa urahisi? Can someone get under your skin as easily? And that's an aspect of emotional growth, emotional improvement. In the next episodes, I'll try to break it down in how you can better improve these aspects. But this is just to mention the aspects in which you need to improve, regardless of whether you've gotten a job or not. The third one is physical. You need to be healthy. You need to be physically fit. At least try to incorporate exercises. Eat healthy. I know it's hard. It's tough for comrades to eat healthy. You just eat whatever and wherever, depending also on the finances. But at least with the little that you have, try to create a system whereby you can eat healthy food and you can exercise on a daily, or rather on a regular, at least 3 times a week, so they say. The fourth one is social. University, somebody mentioned that university actually, or school in general, is a social entity. It's a place where we go to interact with people from different backgrounds, from different walks of life. And so it's important for you to polish and to improve upon your social skills. Can you communicate with someone effectively? Can you pass your ideas and message across without seeming rude, or I'm not sure what else to say, but being able to communicate, it's a very important skill set. How can you charm people? By your tone, by your approach. And and when it comes to the social aspect, what I mean in its essence is basically, do you have people that you can rely on, your ride or die? Also, just people that are in high places or people that are on their way there that you can say are in your circle. That's one aspect to it, but a different aspect is also being able to present your ideas to someone that you've just met, that but they are of a higher value or rather status than you, and they are in a position to assist you to reach your goals. That's what I mean when I talk about improving in the social aspect. And lastly, it's the financial. Take note that financial has come last, because you might have all the money. If we put financials first, you might have all the money, but your spiritual life is not where it's supposed to be, right? You are just stressed by small things. Remember, spiritualism and being grounded in faith, being grounded in principles, is what gives you that stability in life, because disasters can come, things just happen, and when you are grounded, you realize that they don't shake you. There's something that I heard yesterday from uh, a podcast I was listening, rather a preaching, whereby it was mentioned that there was a guy that decided to end their life because his car was burnt. And see, this person had tied his self-worth, his value to materialism. But the reason as to why I'm saying it's important for you to be grounded spiritually as the first building block of improvement is the fact that it gives you perspective of life, that the important things to life aside from materialism, the big cars, the houses, and we all want that, but that's not the essence of life. So it's important for you to be grounded. And that's why financial is not coming first. It's also not coming second. Remember, second is mental. So you can be financially secure and all that, assuming someone that won the lottery, because this is something that just happened by chance. They did not work for it per se, in the sense of working for money. They did not get to learn how to manage their finances, and also how to keep, how to grow, and how to multiply wealth. They did not have these principles, so they just stumbled upon wealth. So this is someone that is financially secure in quotes, but they don't have that mental capacity to manage all that money. So it comes at once, and you realize that most of them, they don't get to keep that wealth. The faster it has come, the faster it goes. And it's important now for mental to take the second stage, because in mental, you can manage your emotions, right? When the money that you've lost, maybe you've invested somewhere and you lose it. Because of your mental capacity, you won't be stressed about it. You can manage your stresses well. And also because of the intellectual capacity under the mental aspect, you will be able to know, where can I put these finances? You will look into the money market funds, you will look into circles, you will also look into the rates that are offered by banks and whatnot, and some of the businesses that are booming right now and the waves that you can ride. That's the intellectual capacity. And that's why finance is not the second thing that you need to improve on. You need to build capacity in order to maintain, or rather to manage that finances. The third one that you talk about was physical. Yes, remember this at this point I'm talking about why finance comes last and not first, second, third, or fourth. The third one is physical. Physical is comprised into your fitness and your health, your well-being in general. You can have all the finances in the world, but if your health rather is wanting, there is nowhere that finance is going to take you. So there's no need to stress yourself. You're working tirelessly. You don't have time to rest. And when you have this wealth that you wanted, you don't have the energy to enjoy it because your health has deteriorated. I normally get, what's the word? This word to pronounce, deteriorated. It's normally hard for me. I'll polish it. I'll improve upon it. And the fourth one, the reason why finance is not the fourth one is social. You might have all the finances, right? But you are cut off from the people. You don't know how to associate with people because you think now the finances gives you the significance. Now you can walk all over people. Treat the janitor as you treat the CEO. So you need to understand this, because these people, as much however wealthy you are, people are the ones that are going to bury you. You need to be cognizant of that. And so the people that help you to establish your empire, to build your estates, to run your companies. They might be beneath you, but if you let finances get to your head, then these people are going to be the ones that will bring you down. Perhaps maybe not even deliberately, but you might treat someone badly, and this person that you've treated badly is the one that is the pillar of your company, the key person in your company, and you treat them badly. So maybe they might be good people and they say, no, I'm not going to avenge, but I'm just going to pull away because you normally don't want to associate with toxic people. So when they pull away and you did not, the money had clouded your judgment such that you are not able to see that this person is the one that is holding this company. So when they go, the company crumbles. People that are taking care of you, your get men, your housemates, people that are cooking for your children. Now I'm talking in, what is it, in a future perspective, because I know that if you are a listener to this, the audience that I intend for this episode were those that are just immediately graduated or you're awaiting graduation. So I'm speaking in perspective in the future sense so that you are able to understand why finance comes last. Finance is the last thing. If you have built your social as the number four, you have built the social life, you are well with people, you're good with people. These people are going to help you to build your finance because you can rarely do it alone. Yes, you can have a brilliant idea, you can be good in coding, you can be good perhaps in public speaking, in all these soft skills, but you're going to need people eventually when your team grows, when your company grows, when the vision grows. You're going to need people to assist you to get to the finish line. And that's why finances comes last. So you're going to better off to manage your finances better when you have these four foundations: spiritual, mental, physical, and social. So you build your finances upon these four. And these five of them is what I need you to improve upon. There are some perhaps in campus you are just squandering the money that you're giving because you had parents to do that for you. You're going to have it hard when it comes to a point in time whereby your parents just stop spoon feeding you. They say enough is enough. You're a grown up. You've finished campus. Ishia, enda tafuta kwako. You're going to have it hard. So it's important also that you learn to manage your finances while in campus, and also now the fact that you're graduating. Now stop living as lavishly as you did in campus. All the money that you get doesn't have to go to sherehes. Kila time umeenda umebai mzinga, sijui umebai kakwara every weekend. Start saving early. That I don't know how much it is. Is it 400, 500, or whatever the price? If you're doing it on a weekly basis, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, umeenda sherehe, put that money somewhere. In a month, if it's 500 a week, that is 2K. 2K is more than enough to be saving monthly. And you put it at least in a money market fund or somewhere else. I hope I'll delve deeper into this because I don't want this episode to be as long. I think we have already passed the 30th minute, but it's important to put that into perspective. Right. So there's this quote in relation to improving that says, I hope I'll get it right. It says, if you can't fly, run. If you can't run, walk. If you can't walk, crawl. But by all means, move. In which I'll use it and say, but by all means, improve. Because improvement is that progression, making something better. You're moving towards something. And that's what should permeate your minds when you're transitioning from school to adulthood, to the job market. What are the aspects of your life that you need to improve in? There is a different segment that I'll give to you when it comes to improvement, the different aspects, the fundamentals and principles of improvement, and the step by steps that you need to take in order to go to achieve that goal, to improve and to become a high value person. And I'm hoping to do that in the next episode because this one I don't want it to be as long, but just giving you that fundamentals and that foundation. After you've graduated, what are the things that you need to improve on your spiritual life as the building block? The principles that you get out of spirituality and out of your faith, they are going to help you to navigate life in its entirety. Your mental life, expanding your intellectual capacity and your emotional capacity, being able to talk to people, understand the emotions that you can evoke through speech and also through writing, your physical life, exercising, eating healthy, being on a diet. Is it balanced diet? It's the only diet that we know, that I know rather. Your social life, connecting with as many people as possible, and don't shun anyone, don't bring anyone down, or rather don't look down on others even if they're not in the same level as you, especially those that are down. They haven't had the privileges that we've had in life. Don't look down upon them. Everyone matters, and everyone plays a specific role in our lives, even if we don't see it. And lastly is the financial. Learn to manage your finances well. Start from a young age. Look at the investments that you can get into as young as you are, and just learn. And yeah, I hope to catch you in the next episode where I'll be breaking down some of the principles, the aspects, and also the steps to improvement. So until then, see you.